Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio. And it's in fact the final few minutes of the show, but don't worry because I still have a lot more left to talk to you about, what is going on in the United Kingdom with regard to our healthcare system, what's happening. So if you want to know any of this, if you want to share your thoughts, to share your opinions with us with regard to any of this, feel free to do that. All right. All you need to do is just text me or call me on 078 share your thoughts, share your opinions, because I would love to hear what you have to say as well. All right. So don't forget to do that. And obviously, don't forget to go like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And actually, get in touch with us and share your thoughts and opinions with us. All right. Because, like I said, I would love to hear what you have to say with regard to all of these things that we're having a conversation about. All right. So make sure to do that. And don't forget to go like us, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. And also don't forget to download our app because that's available for free on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All right. All you need to do is just head on over to the Apple App Store, head on over to the Google Play Store, type in Relax Radio on the search bar, and then you can find our app and listen into the conversation from anywhere you are in the world. And that makes it easily accessible to all of you who want to be updated about everything that is happening in the world. All right. So don't actually forget to do that. And now let's actually head into our conversation because I'm here to tell you everything that you need to know with regard to, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know with regard to our healthcare system. All right. Now, earlier we were talking about dementia. We were talking about how new research has actually found that if you do mentally stimulating jobs, if you have mentally stimulating activities, what you can actually do is actually make sure that you can postpone the onset of dementia. Now, this is life-changing research, right? Because dementia is in fact something that costs our economy billions and billions of dollars annually, right? And it's not something that can be like treated overnight. It's not something that can be easily treated like within a matter of seconds either, right? It takes some time. It takes some days to actually even takes months and whatnot to actually make sure that you treat you treat this disease, right? So with keeping that in mind, we actually need to understand that when it comes to all of these people who have been diagnosed with dementia, it's because their brains aren't mentally active, right? And what researchers have found up to now, excluding this new research, is that if you want to postpone your onset of dementia, if you want to make sure that you're not going to get dementia, the best way to do that actually is to make sure that you keep your brain active, right? You're mentally fit and you're mentally active, because that will actually help you to postpone the onset of dementia. All right, so it's important to keep that in mind as well. And something else that I feel like we need to talk about is that not a lot of people get to choose what kind of jobs they do, right? Now, it's all good to have a job that makes you mentally active, that makes you make mentally stimulating decisions that will actually help you. However, that's not something that a lot of us can afford. That is not an option that a lot of us have, especially in the middle of a pandemic, when everyone's suffering from the pandemic, when there are job losses and there's only a limited amount of options that are available for us to choose as a job. Then the truth is, not a lot of us can actually choose a job, right? We have to take whatever is given to us. So it's important to keep that in mind. But this new research is still being conducted. Nothing has been peer reviewed as yet. Nothing has been established as of yet, and nothing has been confirmed as of yet. But it's always good to make sure that you're not just physically active, but you're mentally active as well, because that will definitely help you be much, much healthier as you grow older. All right. Now, I feel like something else we also need to talk about are these eating disorders that are currently there here in the United Kingdom, right? And these are things like anorexia, these are things like bulimia, and that's just to name a few. But there are so many other eating disorders that so many children and younger people go through. And one of the biggest problems that we have right now in our healthcare system is simply the fact that we can't. It's simply the fact that we're having waiting lists, right? Because of the pandemic, because people who got COVID had to be given priority these past few months. People who are supposed to get treatment, people who are supposed to get operations, unless it was an emergency or unless it was immediate, they had to be postponed, right? And with that, we created this whole problem of the waiting list, right? Which is what we're currently going through now. These waiting lists have in fact increased. They have doubled, they have tripled ever since before the pandemic, because these waiting lists were actually in place before the pandemic as well, but it wasn't as bad, right? And they were actually coming up with ways to address this problem, ways to deal with this problem. But what happened was a pandemic struck, and obviously these waiting lists also increased, right? And the thing is, with eating disorders, the longer you wait, the worse the disease gets. The worse, not disease, but rather the disorder, the worse the disorder gets, right? Because we spend so much of time on social media. A lot of these young children, they've been stuck at home because of the pandemic, because of lockdown. They've been isolated, they haven't been able to go to school, they don't interact with their peers the same way they used to, and because of that, they've spent a lot of time on social media, right? And that has led to everyone consuming a lot of content that might not necessarily be that helpful in terms of being a growing child or being a growing teenager, right? So that's just the truth. And bulimia, or rather anorexia, in fact, has the highest mortality here in the United Kingdom. So it's important that we try and address these young children as well, because we need to make sure that we save their lives and we help them get over this disorder. All right. And now we're actually going to head into a small break, but don't worry, because after that, we will be back to discuss this more. But until then, make sure you stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio. And unfortunately, it's the final few minutes of the show, but don't worry, because I will be here back again on Monday, same time, same frequency, to share my thoughts, share my ideas and my opinions with you, but also to hear what you have to say, all right? And even though it's just a few minutes left, don't forget to text me or call me on 078 to share your thoughts, share your opinions, and let me know what you're thinking. All right. Now, right now, I actually want to talk about whether all the adults in the United Kingdom actually need a booster vaccine, all right, or rather a booster jab, right? And this obviously is one of the biggest conversations right now, because we have managed to secure more doses of the Pfizer vaccine. in an attempt to actually vaccinate our population, in an attempt to actually make sure that our population is vaccinated. All right, so before we actually talk about that, I want to very quickly tell you that a lot of criticism has been received with regard to vaccinating our populations as well, because there are so many populations in the rest of the world that haven't even gotten the first dose of the vaccine, right? And this is in fact a big problem, right? And because it's such a big problem, it's very, very important to actually make sure that it's actually very important for us to make sure that we discuss this problem and help each other understand that when it comes to boost jabs, it's not something that is absolutely necessary. It's not like you can't survive if you don't have a booster jab, right? Because you already have additional immunity from the two jabs that you got when you first got vaccinated. So you've in fact been fully vaccinated. And if anything, the people who have been recommended booster jabs are in fact people who are immunodeficient, who have immunosuppression, right? Because otherwise it's hard for them to be safe, because they already have issues with their immune system, right? And for them, getting two doses of the same vaccine is inadequate, and that is why they need that booster jab, right? So right now, what is being said is that not everyone in the United Kingdom needs a booster jab. Only people who have underlying health conditions that might make their immune system weak actually need it, and that is what the discussion is about. Now, I'm super excited to have been here and to have shared my thoughts and opinions with you. But don't worry, because I will be back again on Monday, same time, same place, same frequency, to share my thoughts and share my ideas with you as well. But obviously, I also want to remind you to stay tuned, because Jamie will be on the chat trap next to make sure you're always informed and you're always updated about the very latest in terms of entertainment and gossip and all of that. All right. So make sure you stay tuned. And I hope you have an absolutely amazing day and an amazing